Hello again. We are Geeks Assembled, and Susan's joining me again. And we're in Stephen King territory again. This time with the 2019 movie remake of Pet Sematary. Ooh, Susan's got one. Yeah, this is the remake, not the 1989 movie version, but the remake, starring John Lithgow, Jason Clarke, Amy Semetz, I think her name is. So, and it's a story about a family moving into a new home, discovering the land at the back of their house. There is a huge pet cemetery used by the locals for over hundreds of years, but there's something else in the land beyond the cemetery. And we'll leave that there for now, and we'll go to opening thoughts with Susan. Susan.
Okay, well, I've seen, I saw the earlier version of this once in part, and so I was aware of the story. I think I actually even read it back in the day, but this one is, you know, we were talking in a previous podcast about Stephen King not doing supernatural stuff. Well, in this one, he dives deeply into the supernatural. This is arguably most supernatural work. It talks about the Wendigo, and we also talked about the Wendigo in a previous podcast when we were talking about the movie Ravenous, starring Robert Carlyle. And so, these things keep coming up again. And this is a story of a family that moves onto a busy highway, and in Maine
again,
and loses the cat, loses the daughter, then loses the mother, loses the father, and all of these guys get buried in the pet cemetery, and not in the pet cemetery that is just for resting in peace, the one that will bring them back, the one with like the I think in the book it said the Micmac burial grounds.
Oh, I don't know.
And so the Micmacs are apparently the name of a tribe in Maine. Around here, they're the Wampanoags, but that's interesting. Or the Winnisemet. There's also the Winnisemet. Those two tribes in this area. So these guys were together, and then all hell breaks loose, because when the cat dies, cat comes back, and the cat is not the same. And then when the daughter dies from basically the same thing, being hit by a truck on the highway, the father buries her in the old ground, and then she comes back, and she is not the same. And then she proceeds to kill Judd, who's his neighbor across the street, who is, or no, not across the street, but across the fence line. And at the end, at the beginning, you'll see that the Judd's house has a little trail of blood from it, and it's on fire. But you don't know that until later on in the movie what that is all about. And it's because Judd is it's because Judd knows about this land, this the supernatural power zone that that it sort of entangles the family. But the daughter gets a whiff of it when she is when she goes out exploring, right when they move in. And so, you know, after that, everybody gets sucked in to this sort of thick soup of supernatural stuff. And it's really incredible. And it's well acted, and it's got a great soundtrack. I mean, like how you can tell that different people's voices are from different parts of reality. That's fun. And how in the special effects, the makeup effects were amazing. And the John Lithgow can play anything from Churchill to, you know, this main old grumpy guy,
Judd.
Yeah, Lithgow is amazing. Anyway, I really like him. I'm further and further impressed with his work the longer I've seen him. And and he can also play funny because he's in that Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he
kind of a good actor. That
he's got the range of anyway, just a huge range. And I liked what they did with the cat. That was really good. And this is basically our pet weekend because we just reviewed Cujo.
Yes.
And we're going to review the audio adventure of Pet Sematary on Monday. So I really like that we're delving into Stephen King's work with his work about animals or surrounding animals, or, you know, having animals. And in one case, in Cujo's case, it was a natural phenomenon that led to a devastatingly tragic end for 3 people. But in this case, it was a supernatural phenomenon that led to the death of the cat and then the death of 4 or 5 people, at least. And anyway,
where does it stop?
Where does it stop? So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and those are my opening thoughts.
Yeah, well, thanks, Susan. Yeah, I've seen the original movie. There is some slight differences, of course, but here it's a brand new version. You've got to do something different, haven't you, to keep people watching these things? Yeah, it's a good concept. Ancient Indian burial ground, I think it was, wasn't it? Where they took beyond Pet Cemetery. Great acting by Lithgow, of course, always. Trouble is, you knew what was going to happen because, if you've read the book, if you've seen the original movie, you know how it all ends.
Yep.
But I've never ever understood the character of Judd. Bringing Churchy back from the dead, knowing full well he brought back, was it a dog? I think he said it was, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Years ago, his dog, and it was never the same.
Right.
I'm thinking, well, why did you do that with a cat if you knew that's what could happen?
Yeah, I don't know. That was
So really, everything what happened in this movie is Judd's fault.
yeah.
Because if he hadn't shown him that the beyond the pet cemetery, he that have let the daughter would have just laid to rest in the ground, and that was it.
Yeah.
But no, but the father knew about this other thing. He went for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did love it was shot so beautifully in the woods and all like that. But the procession of the procession of children wearing masks, carrying the dead pets.
Yeah.
That was just sort of. I thought, well, that was wasted.
It really
Why
was.
did they could have delved into that a little bit more, to my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I wanted to know more about that.
Yeah.
Why was they doing? It was just that little scene. I was just walking by and I think, was that it? I don't know.
The only thing I can think of is that the masks ended up in the cemetery later.
I know that I saw some of the masks hung on the gravestones and stuff like that. But I mean, a judge said they've been burying their pets there for hundreds of years. But I'd love to, a little scene where they delved into the history of this procession, because the kids, it looked like every kid who walked by there had a dead animal with them.
Yeah.
It must have been a bad week for the kids there, losing all the pets.
Seriously. Yeah.
But great acting from the young girl. I can't remember. I don't know her name now. I'll find it though.
Zeddy Lawrence or Jetty Lawrence?
Jetty Lawrence. Is it Jetty Lawrence? Jetty Lawrence.
Yeah.
Oh, and the young boy was played by two boys.
Yeah, a couple of twins.
What I didn't understand as well was the young dead man who the doctor couldn't save kept reappearing. Why? The young guy who he died once he tried to attempt to save him, but
Yeah.
he kept appearing, and I think, I don't understand why he was doing that.
Because he was trying
there was no explanation.
Yeah, he was trying to stop the family from going past the deadfall.
Yeah, but how did he know that was going to happen?
Because he was dead.
Well, state the bleeding obvious.
Well, because he was dead, and there must be something that you can find out past the veil.
But he didn't. Yeah, but he didn't know that. He didn't know that family.
I know that.
That's what I'm saying. There was no connection to that family.
I know that.
That's what I'm saying. I just couldn't understand why he was appearing to them.
I don't know. Because he was dead. That's all I can think of.
Oh, all right then. That's that. I tell you what did make me laugh though was when Ellie introduced the cat to Judd. This is Church. We call him that. He's named after Winston Churchill. He says, it was an old man from history. You might not know him. And he says, I know Winston Churchill. And I thought that made me laugh there because he played Winston Churchill in.
I know, it was so fun.
When I saw the smile on Lithgow's face when he said that line, I thought, yeah.
And then Ellie's response was, you are you that means you're really, really old.
Yeah. But anyway, favorite moments for you, Susan?
Well, I love the bit when they're on the path to the you know the reanimation burial ground, and they go through that swamp, and they walk on all those bones,
Yeah.
and they walk up the hill, and or as they're walking into the swamp, you hear all the screams, and Judd says, no, that's just a loon. And then you go past that point, and then he walks up the stairs, um and uh and then he asks Judd, why am I here? And Judd says, because do you love your daughter, or do you love your daughter? And he says yes, and then he ends up burying the cat up there. um that was, that whole scene was so cool, so eerie, so supernatural. Like,
Yeah.
that's what, you know that's
I,
the kind of weird supernatural stuff that I love Stephen King for. Like,
I
I
mean,
love
are
The
we to assume,
Stand.
yeah, are we to assume that walk to the burial ground, um, through the swamp in the water, you see all the bones. Are we to assume that those of the remains of the feasts of the Wendigo? I mean, are we to assume that this is like the sacrifices to the Wendigo?
I don't know.
Because
That's incredible.
it's not, that's not answered either, isn't it?
Right. Or that could be the eventual dead resting place of all the bones of all the people who've been, reanimated up top.
But do the, yeah, I thought
Like
they'd carry.
they make their way back there, and they just lay in that swamp, and they scream really loud.
Hmm.
Cause like that, when I was listening, I had to turn down the scream because it was like, that was super incredible though. That was
Yeah, I mean, it was the cinematography in it was brilliantly done.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, for me the ending of the movie. I mean, we're not going to. I mean, it's nearly 2 years old now, so I know people know the ending anyway. Like the ending where the mother is killed. The girl stabs the daughter stabs her mother.
And then drags her all the way
To,
up.
all the way up there. Then the father goes after them. He ends up being killed by the mother because she's reanimated, and they come back to the young boy who's locked in the car, and then that's where it ends with a click of the car door alarm going off. Which a weird ending.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the way it's written in the book is that the son is the one who dies.
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
that's what I remember, is like the son, like the father yelling Gage, and running up,
mm,
running after the son, and that the son is hit, and then and I always imagined it like my childhood home, and like down the hill, and then right out into the road, and having the truck having already gone by, and like blown to a stop down the road,
yeah.
and then the trucker gets out and walks back,
I
and
mean,
and then the son is the one who dies, and the son is the one who's reanimated, and the
that's what.
son doesn't kill the mother or the father, but in this one it's like, oh my gosh, everybody comes back as zombies. It's like, Uh,
Yeah, well, it was the son who died in the original movie, if I remember rightly.
oh, that too. Yeah.
Yeah. But talking to the ending, as I said, I've watched the alternate ending of this on the DVD. If you get the DVD or Blu-ray or whatever you watch on, there's an alternate. They've filmed an alternate ending where the father doesn't die fighting his daughter. He spares her. He spares her. He's not killed. The mother doesn't kill him. Because she hasn't been buried at that point, apparently, in the alternate one. But he buries. She dies, and he buries her. Because in this ending, the little daughter buries her, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And in the alternate ending, he spares his daughter. He doesn't kill her again. And once his wife dies, takes the last breath, he puts her in the ground and buries her. And then you see him and the daughter walking back to the car to get the young kid. And the next thing you see is him and the young kid sat there. So they're still both living, they're still both alive, with the young daughter who's dead. And then all of a sudden the mother starts walking into the room and puts her hand on the shoulder of her husband. And that's where the alternate ending finishes.
That's weird.
Weird.
That's convoluted.
But yeah, I mean, I love the scenes with the cat as well. I thought the cat was brilliant.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't know where Marn is, but she's brilliant scenes with the cat. How to get a cat to look scruffy like that? Brilliant. Backcombing, a lot of backcombing.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what we haven't touched on is the mother's sister.
Oh, right.
With the spinal.
Scoliosis.
Good job you can say it, because I was going to make up a word then. But
It was worse than scoliosis because apparently she had all these like bumps and
she was sort of twisted and
yeah.
bedridden. Well, sort of bedridden, and then to find out that her parents had left the young daughter to care for her sister.
Yeah.
Great parenting.
Yeah, all around.
All around, and then all the rest of her life, she had that nightmare and fear of what had happened to her sister.
And her
So
sister came back and talked to her.
Yeah.
And so like there was this, that was fun too. Yeah, you're right.
Like Judd's dead wife came back when Ellie was tormenting him.
Yeah.
Before she sort of killed
cool.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. I think in the book, Judd's wife was killed, and then Judd buries her up in the land, and then she comes back.
I don't know.
I think that's right. I don't think it was in the first movie, but I think that's the way it was in the book.
Right.
We'll know when we listen to the audio book.
Yeah, we'll see how different that is.
I know.
So, anything else you'd like to say about Pet Sematary, the new version?
Yeah, I also liked when the father was bathing the daughter after the daughter reanimated, and he's combing her hair, and he pulls the hair apart, and he sees where the mortician stapled her head back together. That was cool.
But do you notice as well Ellie's eyes?
Oh, there were one was down further.
Yeah, I think it's mostly CGI what they did there, or the, I don't know, contact lens or whatever. But she might have been too young to put contact lenses in.
Yeah.
But that just made it feel a lot more weird.
Yeah.
Just the look of her and
Oh, and the cat's face was like there was a big divot out of the side of the head.
yeah,
Yeah.
you come back, but you come back as you left.
You come back a different person. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. But a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
So we got a last final saying score.
Sure.
Over to you.
So for the this is the first time I've seen this movie, and I liked it a lot. There was a lot of good stuff in it. A lot of really cool supernatural stuff. This is a proper Halloween movie. If you're looking for the Halloween extravaganza, look at the Pet Sematary, because it has the supernatural, it has a lot of good screams and effects and things like that, and it's actually really lovely in a dark macabre way.
Sure.
And so yeah, with that, I'll give this a 9 deadfall logs out of 10. Yeah, just don't climb over my deadfall logs.
Well, I've got to agree with Susan. It is a damn good Halloween movie. If you watch it lights out with fire raging and nice hot cuppa in your hand.
Yep.
But yeah, and a great acting class from John Lithgow as well.
Again.
And it's brilliantly shot. So for me, I'm going to give this 9 kitty lives out of 10.
Of
This
course.
should have 9 lives, don't they?
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's our little review of Stephen King's Pet Sematary. I'd like to thank Susan for joining me, as
Yep.
always.
You're welcome.
You
Thanks
guys
for
out
joining
there.
me.
Oh yeah. What would I be doing? I'd be burying people.
Yep.
This is why there are many members left.
They've been tortured, killed, and buried.
Yes, but they haven't come back yet.
Notice that.
Maybe it wasn't holy ground I put them on. What was I saying? Yeah. Please leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of the movie. If you would like to be in our cast, in our group, get in touch. Leave me a message. Leave Susan a message, or anybody else a message. Hold a séance, and it might get through to us. I can't hear anything yet, but you never know. And we'll try and get you on. All we ask is you be 18 plus, a working laptop, PC, tablet, with a working camera, a microphone, and you're in. You don't have to be sane, because a little insanity is good for everybody. Look at Susan. And when I say a little, she's got a lot. Yeah, also as well, because you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all over the place. But if you subscribe to our channel on YouTube, please press the bell notification button, and you'll get a little ding. There's no ding. Didn't hear a ding. Oh, it's a little tiny one, that one. And every time we put up a video, you'll hear one of them. We do it 2 to 3 times a week, and it'll be movies, TV, audio dramas, any genre. We'd like to see you get involved. if you like to talk about anything, because we don't stick to one sort of genre, modern, classic. We're all over the place. Animation. So get in touch and we'll try and get you on. So I think that's it, Susan. You enjoyed this one.
Yep.
Cool.
Thanks for doing this with me. That was
I'm-
cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the audio. I'm going to sit down on Sunday, I think, and listen to the audio.
Yeah, I think
So,
so too.
so until next time, be safe. Bye for now.